Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Today I've got a mod, an accessory really, that I should have done with the Toyota Tacoma months ago. Can't believe I've waited this long. Actually, I think the reason why is because I can't believe how expensive this is. For what you get, for what it is, it's way too much money. Anyway, we've got it here. It goes in the back of the Tacoma. There's a small chance that I may be mistaken and this isn't what I think it is. I'm not positive. But anyway, let's go ahead and unbox it. First of all, the first thing that I noticed about this, because it is I don't want to say a knockoff, but it's not an OEM part. It's rather light, which isn't a problem for where I'm going to put it or how it's going to be used. Anyway, let's go ahead and find out if it is what I think it is. I hope it is. Let's see. Yes, it appears to be. So let's pull it out of here. I don't know if you guys can tell yet. So far, it kind of looks like floor mats, right? But it's not. It is definitely not floor mats. It's supposed to be a bed mat for the Tacoma. Now, it says on here, fits 2005 through 2022, 5-foot short bed. So it should fit. Now, let's see if we can get it open. They've got it hermetically sealed, I guess. I don't know why. Maybe that's so they can charge even more money for this. I don't know. All right. It's definitely not as heavy duty or as rubbery as the stock version is, or what I'll call the OEM version. I don't know if any of them are really OEM, but let's see. It has the right shape. You guys can see here, and it says not fit. It says not fit 6-foot, 72-inch long bed models. That's okay, because I don't have a 72-inch long bed. Now, it is rather thin. I'll say that first off. It looks to be less than 1/4 inch in thickness overall, and I believe it is. It has a pretty decent folding slot in the middle. If I was folding this thing back and forth, I'd be weary that that would eventually split or give way. But as you can see, it does have the right shape. So now, let's go ahead and pop the rear end open here, or the cover. I am going to roll it back a little bit. Let's make sure there's nothing living in there. Let me grab a flashlight. The truck has been outside, so you never know down here in Texas. You could have a raccoon or something in there, or a snake is what I'd be more concerned with. I don't see anything funky in there, so I think we're okay. Now, as far as opening this is not such a simple process, but you have to open the tonneau. So, just kind of unhook those. Not complicated, just more than throwing it in there if I didn't have a cover on it. Like so. And then, of course, we have the bed extender in the way. So, we're going to have to pull that out. I could put it in, I guess, with the bed extender in there, but it's just that simple to remove, so why not? I like to make things as easy as possible when possible. Now we should be able to just slide it in there. Again, it doesn't weigh much. So, and it does appear to actually fit. That's cool. It's going to have to kind of settle down a little bit, but that's to be expected. It's brand new. Now, let's grab a flashlight, get a little bit closer, let you guys see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, you guys can see the fit. I think that's actually a pretty good shot. Pull it back a little bit so you can see how it fits up there in the front. There is a little bit of space left on both sides, but it's not really anything too much. Maybe about 1/2 inch or so on each side. And then up here in the front, back you out a little bit. Up here in the front, you can see it's got about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch before it reaches the edge. Those are really the critical measurements for me. If it was too long, obviously you'd have a problem with interference with the tailgate. If it was too short, you'd have too much distance here so that when you tried to slide things in, you'd always be fighting the lip of it. Now, as I mentioned, it is a little warped, but that's just because it's got to relax a little bit. As far as the material, it does seem to have a little bit of grip to it, but not too much. Again, definitely not as much as the OEM or the normal, more expensive version. This was about, depending on where you get it, as much as almost $100 cheaper than some of the pricing on the more better quality ones, I'll say. Now, the reason I say this one is okay for mine, there's two things to consider. One is if it's going to blow out. It's not very heavy, so I'd be concerned with this one if I had an open bed that it possibly could blow out. Obviously, you don't want that to happen for obvious reasons. And secondly, that it's going to be spongy or durable enough to hold up, which I think it's okay. It should hold everything. It does have ridges in it, so it gets a little bit of grip that way as well as from the material. And thirdly, I guess, it's under a cover. So in my truck, it's not that big of a deal because it's in essence protected too by the tonneau cover. So I'm not really concerned about it being heavy enough or really thick enough to stay weighted down in the bed. I think we'll be fine. Well, I know we'll be fine because of the cover. It can't go anywhere, right? So there you go. For the money, again, I don't think you can beat it. It was like, I think it was $89 or something like that. There'll be a link down below if you want to check it out. I could be off on the pricing a little bit, but for my purposes, I think it's going to be perfect. Can't believe I didn't put one in already, or I hadn't put one in already. I've had the truck for a few months now, and if you've got a Tacoma, then you know that this bed, which is composite plastic, is very, very slippery. Have to have some kind of a mat in there to hold things in place, and this should be just fine. Let's do one quick test of it. I mean, if I sit this on here, I think it's going to be okay. Not as grippy, I mean, much better than not, but not quite as grippy as the original. I will say, because of the heat down here, this stuff is going to get a little bit more tacky. I can just tell by the material when it's hot, and it's going to be hot sitting out there in the Texas sun. Leave a comment. Let me know. Ever bought a knockoff bed mat? Did you have any trouble with it and end up going with the OEM version, if you will? The one that has the Tacoma in the middle? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.